You're watching the playback. Let me just get these links shared and then we'll get started. All right, we have a look here at the latency. It looks good. So I am streaming from my old phone because we're gonna make swatch photos and I need to be able to use my phone to take pictures, and I can't do that if it is on a live. So we're gonna see how this goes. I don't use this phone for anything anymore. It's been asleep for a long time. And so everything's outdated, but whatever, we're gonna try it. I wish YouTube would let me do my live streams horizontally from my laptop like I like, but it doesn't push out horizontal live streams anymore. So here we are. So you're gonna need 3 things for this. As you can see, I have pre-existing extensions. I put these on in another live stream about sandwich dual forms, so if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. Hi, is somebody here? I see a thumbs up. Hello. You're gonna need a peel-off base coat. This is the one I'm gonna use today. Sometimes I use the one from Nail Couture. They have different textures. This one's a bit of a thicker one. You can see it's all crusted up on here. I need to clean the neck of it off. But like, see, it's kind of a gooey. The other one is thinner. And so with this one, I usually only do 1 coat. With the Nail Couture one, I do 2 coats. These are air dry. Gel peel off base coats don't peel off. I don't know why they're called peel off base coats. I don't know anybody who's able to get them to work correctly, but air dry does. It takes longer to dry than regular base coat. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you give it enough time to dry, and you can speed that up with a nail dryer like I have here, and that's what I'm going to use. So 1 coat of this if you're using this brand, 2 coats if you're using a thinner formula. You can experiment. But once you do get this dry, you want 1 coat of regular cheapo top coat. And the reason you're going to use this is to protect your good top coat, because sometimes if your peel off base coat isn't super dry, it can like drag and get gummy and like get on the end of the brush. So I use a cheap top coat as a protective layer in between. Feet nails, I don't do my feet nails on camera. I don't typically even do my feet nails. I go to a salon for that. Good morning, Cordy. So 1 of these, and then once that one is dry, which it's a quick dry so it doesn't take long, I go in with this one. This one is my favorite one. It is thick, it is juicy, and it creates a hard shell. And then once this is dry, then you can paint. And so when you use these 3 things, you create a shell. And it makes it to where you can just peel off your nails in sheets. And this way, you're able to remove your extension or your paint without damaging your extension. If you acetone your paint off, it's going to erode your structure. And nobody wants that. So this is how I do it. And we're going to work on some swatches. I opened some polishes yesterday, and so I need to take hand swatches. And to be able to cycle through those quickly without destroying my nails, peel off base coat is the perfect way to do that. I don't think chemical is a concern here, because for the most part, nail polishes don't use very many concerning ingredients anymore like they did back in the day. So it's a super low risk of any sort of negative reactions with regular nail polish. but we're not painting all over our hands. And I would definitely recommend, if you're going to be painting, regardless of what kind of painting you're doing, use a well-ventilated room. So reduce your risk of problems. But let's get started with the peel off. I start with my furthest over finger. That way I work my way from the outside to the inside. This prevents me from having to cross over while I paint, reducing the likelihood of me sticking my hand into a wet nail. So that makes the most sense for me. My bottle's getting low, so I have to tip it. Yeah, just a mediumly generous coat of this, not too thick, because then it's just going to take forever to dry, and it can sometimes, like, if you let it pool up, it'll dry with that pool. It won't thin because it's not like your regular base coats and stuff. But if you get a good even coat of this, that helps it peel off. Make sure you get it all the way down the edges. And then I just stick this in here for about 60 seconds. If you go longer, it'll be more dry, but this helps it speed along. Favorite brand, it's really the Orly one and the E-Nail Couture one. The Orly one I like because I only need one coat. The E-Nail Couture one I like because it's like $6, and that one's like 15. So like, meh, I am not a problem of doing 2 coats for a third of the money, you know? Oh, well, thank you. Is it Fazal Chowhan? I'm a rambler. You may notice I talk a lot. Except when I'm concentrating. You did? Orly is my favorite nail polish brand, like, of all time. They make great staples. They don't do a lot of special stuff, but there's, you know, a few. But I have more Orly nail polish than any other brand. And they're usually between $8 and $10 a bottle. So it's like, it's hard to beat. And the bottles are huge. I wish they would let me collaborate with them. I do a series on my channel of opening the Orly Color Pass boxes. I've been doing it for like 3 years. But those are a whole lot of fun because you get 6 polishes for a little bit of money, and they're always a surprise. Alright, I left that in there way more than 60 seconds because I was rambling, you see? Alright, we'll put on this one. And I try to do a semi-generous coat with this as well. Like, obviously, don't get it everywhere, but you want it to be smooth. All right, now we'll stick that back in there. Give that a moment. Thanks, Courtney. Thanks for looking out. I forget all the time. Yes, please do hit the like button, you guys. It helps the algorithm let people know that I'm doing cool stuff and to tell people other about it. Hi, Buggy. How are you this morning? How many... Oh, it's tried to give me a suggested question. Interesting. All right, so that's been about 60 seconds, and now we'll put this one on. This one I go through like wildfire. So I actually buy this giant refill bottle and just keep filling it up. I use a lot of this. Now, one question you may have when it comes to peel off base coat, especially this particular one, is can you do it under your nail extensions to make them easy to peel? And the answer is sort of. If you want them to come off right away, yeah. Like if you're doing nail sets and then you peel them right off after, absolutely. But if you want to wear it for any amount of time, no, because they're going to be too easy and they're going to come off before you're ready. So that is one advantage of like the Jello, because you have to have the additional product for it to actually come off. I've never actually used the Jello, so I can't tell you a whole lot about it. But this is not a substitute for that, which is one reason I like to do it on top of the extensions, because all I really need to change is the paint. Every once in a while, I'll change the extensions, but I put those on for longevity, so those got to come off the old-fashioned way. Look, I got a thick spot here. I'm just going to run my finger down there and clean that up. And let me stick this in there. Look at all these teeth marks on my lid. It's because I close it with one hand because my other one's in the dryer. So when that comes out, the first polish, we're going to swatch. Good Lord. I can't even tap the screen to clear it up because there we go. It's this one. It is this red flaky called Fit Check for my Napalm era. This is from Tyler's Trinkets latest collection. It's inspired by some cartoon. Goodness gracious, it's in my brain. Something about K-pop and K-pop Demon Fighter, something like that. I've never seen it, but if you have, maybe you'll get these references. I do not. But I won this in a giveaway, and so that's very exciting. Hi, Sarah. Good morning. All right, so this is out, and we can test it by touching it. It is smooth and dry and ready for some paint. So let's do that. And similarly, I just start from the outside and work my way in. So pretty. Look at that. It's so glistening. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope you find lots of content that you enjoy. I do all kinds of stuff. Mostly nail polish. It's my favorite, but there's other stuff on there too. And I've got a bunch of different series. I've got a new series coming up in the new year where I am showing my loot. I recorded the first video the other day. It's about like charms and things, and it took me 2.5 hours of footage, and I was able to whittle it down to 40 minutes, but it's like so fast because it's like item. I had to do a lot of cutting, but I have a lot of stuff. So y'all gonna see it. Goodness, I really like this. I have some other red flaky polishes. They're all a little bit different, but man, this one is extra pretty. I don't think the other ones are as dense, and they don't have the black flaky looking element, I don't believe. That one's a bit of a thick boy, so I just do that. That helps to thin those sides out. What happened? Oh, you hit the word exit. It happens. I sometimes try and scroll up the chat and scroll up the whole live stream and then have to come back. YouTube is crazy. All right. Tap the end of that and smooth that off. So now, let's stick this in the dryer, and then we'll do a second coat. Is it C Heights or Chites? You said yuck. What is yuck? You don't like nail polish? Hi, good morning, Josie. Good morning, Summer. That's right, you tell him. Stop hating. Ain't nothing to hate about beautiful nail polish. Look, you can see my hand down here where the camera hangs off just a smidgen. I just set it in my lap and it's just moving there in the background. You're tired? Here we go. How long did you sleep? I know I didn't sleep very long, but I never do. Let's throw on a second coat. You don't have to, but for swatching photos, we definitely want it to be its best self. Look what I did. I've just painted on my finger. This is why you need a cleanup brush and a little pot of acetone. Just fix those little mistakes. No problem. My pot is near empty. I'm going to put some more in it. 7 hours. That's okay. Like, there could have been more hours, but I guess that's a passable amount. I probably sleep between 6 and 7 hours on a good night. Hello, Jenna. Welcome. Good morning. So let me know who here has heard of Tyler's Trinkets before, the nail polish brand. Are you familiar with Tyler? This one, I believe, must have a thick spot on the base coat because it's just keeping that curve, and it may just be that I need to shape my nail, but you can see it does have a thick spot. No, you're not familiar. He's a relatively new brand. I became aware of him at Polish and Beauty Expo this past summer. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's a nail polish convention. So it's yearly. It's in a suburb near Chicago, and basically a bunch of nail polish brands and enthusiasts get together for a weekend and have like classes and a little dinner and a whole bunch of shopping, and it's fantastic. It's a great time. I've been twice. But he does have a little website and makes really cute nail polish. That's beautiful. This camera, just chill out, okay? Let's Boop. Yeah. All right, let's try that. I wish there was a nail polish convention closer to where I live, because it's a 10-hour drive from where I live to Chicago. It's not fun. Hi, Teresa. Good morning. Now you can do this peel off method if you're using gel polish as well. It's totally fine, because the whole purpose of it is just to create that shell, and then it just peels right off either way. So I put it on under everything I do, regardless of what the substance is, and especially if you're going to use things that are harder to remove, like glitters, charms, and that sort of stuff, and it just peels right off. Alright, so that's been about 60 seconds. Let's top coat these in. Thank you so much, Gemini. Welcome in. I appreciate y'all. If you didn't see, when we get to the 10,000 subscriber mark, I'm having a giveaway, and we're almost there. I have a bunch of cool nail stuff. There is some regular polish, there's some gel, but there's also nail stamping supplies, there are nail drills, there are nail lights, there's even a dust collector. It's all kinds of fun items that I need to share with you guys. Thank you, Summer. Oh, crap. Look what I did. I just jammed it in there. Welcome, Michaela. Try not to bang your nails into your other nails. I am very bad at that. There we go. Now let's dry those. Yes, very lucky and very cool. I was so excited when he messaged me to let me know the winner. I don't win things all the time, and I don't even enter things all the time, because typically there'll be a gazillion entries. But occasionally I see one I really like, and I'll go ahead and enter it. And it was really nice to be able to. Opposite nails? You mean different on each hand? So the reason I do that is because I don't have enough hands. I like to change my nails very frequently, because there's always new stuff I want to do. And if I were to make my hands match, that would just give me less surface, less canvas to work on. Yeah. So if I use my hands independently, I can do twice as much stuff. And it's fun, because then it gives me more variety to look at too. I've had these on for a few days now, which is long, but they're so pretty, and I just love looking at them. And so sometimes I don't want to take them off right away, but I still need to be able to paint. I have a lot of fun painting my nails. It's my main hobby. And then I'm able to create more content. Yes. Alright, so that's been in there for about a minute and a half. Let's just check everything. Yeah, this is passable. So with nail polish, you may know it takes a long time to fully cure and harden. And so I would need to be careful with these nails for at least the next few hours so they don't get like gouged, but they're touchable so I can resume just living my life. However, that's not what we're doing today. We're doing swatching. So I'm going to take photos of these and then we're going to peel them off and do the next one. And so I'm going to do that here with you guys. I got this black canvas out. Stop that. Let me turn that off because I accidentally turned it on. Look, see, I hit this one. What you can do though is lick your finger so that it doesn't stick and you can kind of push things back. You can always do another layer of top coat. But yeah, you got to be careful with them when they're still soft or you'll mess them up. That's gonna get that by. Thank you. I have my regular phone. This is my daughter. That's my notifications, always doing stuff. So let's just take some photos. I'm gonna need these for, you know, Instagram and all that business. I'm working my way through a swatch series, but I don't remember to post them every day. I need to lift that up because I don't want that in the background. So I do one like that, and then I do one from the bottom so you can see the label. Not everybody makes their swatches the same way. So like if you don't do yours this way, that's totally fine. It's just how I like it. And then I do one with the thumbnail. And then one with just these fingers and not holding the bottle. You can tell this one's crooked because they don't point together, and this one, they're like pointing away from each other. And so that's how I make swatch photos. Now that polish is finished. We'll move this back out the way. These are gonna peel off a little bit gummier because they're still soft, but they'll come off in the sheets if they're super dry. This still does make it easy for them to peel off though. Thanks, Cordy. Appreciate ya. See, look. See how much easier that is than having to like acetone that away? And then if I have any like extra bits, because sometimes I do, I just scrape them off like that. And then we can start over. Hi, Mabel. Good morning. Is it Juicy Nade? Hello, welcome. Let's peel these puppies on off. So convenient. This is super helpful for content purposes like swatching. You'd be here all day if you had to do it the old-fashioned way. Do y'all ever make nails that you hate? I do occasionally. I try not to, but sometimes they just don't turn out the way that you imagine them in your head, and then you're just like, ew. That happens to me sometimes, and I peel those off too. Canceling Christmas? We already did ours. See, we got here, never your mind that, except for blah, 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 blah. I do the nail because it makes me happy, because they're beautiful, and because I like to look at them. Sometimes boys like them too, but I don't really care what they think. I do what I like. There we go. Put these in the trash. Hello, Wild Stavros. Good morning. Yeah, men don't have strong feelings typically about nail polish. Like, they like pretty nails sometimes, but mostly they don't care. We do the nails for our own satisfaction and for the nail girlies mostly. I left a little piece of debris on that one. Get out of there. Oh, Stavros, I'm sorry to hear that. That's very unfortunate. You guys don't know this about me, because why would you? But when I was 19 years old, I had a fiance, and he died in a car wreck. It was very traumatic, so I know how it is. And then, crazy enough, the story gets wilder. When I was 21 years old, I had a boyfriend, and he was murdered by the police. So, it happened to me twice. It's crazy, crazy times. There we go. Into the dryer. I know. Yes, exactly. What the fuck? Because that's not how it's supposed to be. Forgot I turned that off. Yeah. Everybody since then has lived, though, so that's the good news. Definitely going to be checking that out after I finish all these swatches, Mabel. Why was he murdered? He was resisting arrest, and he was of brown nature, and you know the police don't like that. Just a drying. If y'all do regular nail polish, these nail dryers really do speed things up. Yes, exactly, Cordy. Not pleased at all. I'm of the mindset of like, if you've got a problem with them, if they're resisting, if you even feel like they're, danger, shoot them in the leg. They'll stop. People ain't gonna keep fighting you when you wound them. Like, you don't have to go for death first. But I think the world is getting better, because that was a lot longer ago. We had a huge problem going on for a while. But I think either the media is not talking about it as much anymore, or it's not happening as much anymore because of the media, because it's harder to get away with. And I hope that's the case. I hope it's just not happening as much anymore. Because that was like back before they were all required to wear body cams and all that stuff. Makes me sound old, but I am. So I am not very good at painting inside the lines, you may notice. Yeah. Yeah, it makes me angry too. I am ultra passionate about racism and abuse of power. I do not like it at all. All right, let's try that. Crazy things do indeed happen. Exactly, Mabel. Seasoned. That's right. Vintage. These are all good descriptions. Hello, welcome. Is it Life Eru? Life. We're just making swatches, doing peel off base coats. Y'all are going to be experts at peel off base coat by the time you see me do this 4 times. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Just 1 second. Let me get a sip of this beverage before we put on the next top coat. If you guys like to over-caffeinate your body, I recommend Celsius. It's got 270 milligrams. That's way too much. So, there's that. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Don't eat that shit. So, tell me, guys, it is very early in the morning. What do y'all have planned for today? I don't have any particular plans in the early part of the day. Normally I'd be at work, but I'm on PTO. I'm having to burn it off before the end of the year. So I'll go back to work after Christmas and then resume as usual. But today I'm going to do this, of course. And then this evening I'll be meeting up with my friends to play trivia. We do that on Tuesdays. But in the middle part of the day, I don't know. I have no idea what I'll be doing. Probably feeding the algorithm. It's a grind. Yeah, I know. So what are y'all going to do today? Hopefully something fun. All right, let's try that layer. You going to be lazy today? I support it. That is something fun. I will probably also do some lazying. Go lay down in the bed and look at my phone for a while. That sounds like a good time. I normally like to put on really over-the-top outfits to go to trivia. It's at a bar, a very regular sports bar, but I am notorious for showing up in like formal wear and stuff because I like to wear my fancy clothes and I don't have a lot of occasions, so I'll just wear them to regular places. Being as it's about to be Christmas though, I think I might get out my Santa jumpsuit, because the last few times I've worn some other Christmas outfits. I've got like a Christmas tree dress and a gift dress, and I've worn them. But I haven't worn the Santa outfit yet, and so this is my last chance. I think that's probably the route I'm gonna go. I'm most certainly the fanciest dressed person who goes there. But I like to think that they get a kick out of it too. All right. Thank you so much for coming, Stavros. We'll see you later. All right. So that is dry. My lips are also dry. Let me chapstick those up. Goodness, this winter air. Okay. Next, we're going to do this green. It is Sparkly. And it's called Hear Our Voice Unwavering. Let's see if I can. I hate trying to make this thing focus. There we go. Yeah. That's going to be pretty. Yeah, that's cute. And of course, we'll do 2 coats. So, everyone else, what are y'all doing today? Thank you, Mabel. I agree. I like it. Green is one of my favorite nail polish colors, and I have a lot of it. Didn't get quite enough on that brush, so I had to work hard for that one. Yeah. Ew, what? Where did that come from? I am not a very neat painter. I definitely find paint in places that I didn't know it was, especially if I'm doing like stamping, because then I stick my hand on the nasty paper towel all the time. And then I have like a little palette over here where I put paint droplets when I'm, doing nail art and stuff. And sometimes I get stuck to that. I'm a mess. All right, let's dry that layer. Any tips? It's Victoria. When you say tips, do you mean like advice or do you mean like structural extensions? Advice. Yeah. Natural nails are thin and delicate and break easily. So even if you don't wear nail extensions, keeping your nails painted adds layer and structure and helps them break less often. Using cuticle oil daily, especially, but multiple times if you can, is good for the skin health and the nail matrix. And so they grow in a healthier condition. Keeping your cuticles manicured frequently will reduce the likelihood and frequency of getting hangnails, because hangnails suck. If you do get a hangnail, don't peel it, don't bite it. Cut it off with your nail clippers, flat at the skin, and that will prevent it from getting worse. And also, you can use a nail buffer on your skin. So, if you get any rough spots, you can just buff them smoother so they don't irritate you and make you pick at them to become worse. So those are bits. I also take a hair, skin, and nails vitamin every day. I don't know if that actually makes a difference because I'm not a scientist, but in my mind, it helps, so it helps. But I mostly take that so that I don't go bald. I just think it might help. Except my nails are always covered up with extensions. All right, second coat of green. If you do nail extensions, try not to change them more often than you have to, because removing them safely is a skill. And more often than not, you're going to cause damage in some way from doing something. And sometimes it's accidental from banging them and causing them to peel up suddenly. So the less frequently you change them, the less often you're creating those instances of damage. And so they have longer time to grow out in between, which means that you have healthier nails underneath. But I will tell you one thing, as far as like adhesion, nail products stick better to damaged nails. When your nails are super healthy, your nail products will pop off more often. And that's crazy, but it is how it is. If it damages a little, it damages a little. That's just how it is sometimes. You also can use a layer of hard gel on your natural nail before you go in with all of the other stuff. And that can give you a little bit of protection. So like if you like to file your extensions off, having that hard gel layer underneath gives you an idea of where you need to stop filing. Because once you hit the hard gel, you stop, you leave that there. Because you don't have to completely remove your product before you can add more product. My nails are damaged under here because I like to peel them off. That's not how you're supposed to remove nails, but I do use a debonder, and so it helps, but sometimes, especially on the free edge, it doesn't like to let go. So like the further it gets towards the end of the nail, the more crazy they can get. Yeah, peeling off is bad. You want to either file off and stop with a little layer left, or you want to soak off. I have a steamer machine that I use for soaking, and it is fantastic. I prefer it over regular soaking. Regular soaking, you have to like submerge, but if you use the steamer, you only need a little bit of acetone, and it heats it up. And so it makes your products just slough off without submerging your hands. But it does take longer than peeling. If you're doing your own nails and you want to treat them badly, like technically you can, no one can stop you because it's yours, and that's why I do it. But if you're doing other people's nails, don't peel them off. Soak them off. Other people will not be pleased if you peel their nails off. All right, let's top coat this green. I'm going to turn this off so I don't accidentally stick my hand in it, because that happens. Oh, thank you so much. I do have quite a few lives, and they are quite long. I have lots of regular videos too. So there's all kinds of content about every kind of product and subject and whatnot. So you can definitely peruse those and see if there's anything in there that you want to see or are interested in. And my intention is to, at some point, edit these live stream footages into highlights so that they're a little bit shorter and more bite-sized, but I have no idea when that's going to happen. Probably not until after the new year. So by the time you actually see the highlights for a live stream, it may be months after the live stream took place. Oh, look, I forgot that quick. But yeah, I have a series on my channel called Back to Basics, and that's where I talk about a lot of like beginner level nail related things. And then I have series on different like products. Like I have one for Orly, I had one for the McCart box back when they did that. And then I have some gel stuff. There's a little bit of acrylic, but I don't do a lot of acrylic. I have some science stuff where I tested out gel polishes, because I'm allergic to gel polish, but not structural gels for some reason. And some gel polishes are worse than others for me, but it is not HEMA that is the problem. I don't know what the problem is. I went to get an allergy test one time, but it was super expensive and not covered by insurance. So I was like, never mind, I'll just not. So something. But there is a little science video about that if you're into the nerdy stuff. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. When I text with my hands, it makes me look drunk. And I have to try several times to fix things sometimes. And sometimes I just don't fix them because I'm like, you know what I meant. So more often than not, I talk to my phone. That helps, but sometimes my phone didn't understand what I said, and it also makes me look stupid. So there's no winning. Typing without my nails, though, is even weirder because I don't use my hands in the same way. So when I'm in between extensions, my typing is also atrocious. All right. That's good. Feels good. Looks good. Let me show them to you. There we go. That's so sparkly. So pretty. It's a good Christmas green. All right, let's do some photos and get that out the way. This is a wrist rest. It's jelly. I recommend if you're painting to put your fingers on something so they point down. That helps the paint flow away from your fingers instead of into them. Oh yeah, autocorrect. It's always out to get you. I like to tell myself that one day I'm going to learn my lesson and proofread my messages before I hit send. But I have not learned that lesson yet. I'm still working on that. Ugh, I don't know when I got this chunk of gross on here, but let me scrape that off so it doesn't interfere with my thumbprint. That's nasty. All right, nail photos. Getting your hand to bend the way you want takes practice. All right. Come on, fingers. And one more. Gosh, I hate when my fingers won't point the cohesive direction. There we go. Goodness gracious. Thank you, guys. Hello. I see someone new came in. Is it Rue Heaven Bound? Welcome in. Oh, you've got damaged nail from Temu New. Here's the thing. The store that you buy your products from are not responsible for the quality of the product or what happens to you when you use it. So, like, just because you bought it on Temu doesn't make it different than if you were to get it on Amazon. Unless it's a specific brand, it's just a store. So, nail glue is meant to stick on there real good. So if you're using like a regular air dry nail glue, some of them come with debonders that are made for them. And if you're using a gel glue, it's probably not going to debond. But there are products that can be used to help make them peely, but ultimately you're not supposed to peel at all because it's going to damage because it's trying to hang on. So, peel off base coat will change your life. Definitely recommend. That's why I used to do it. When I first started doing my nails like this and changing them so much, I was messing myself up, mostly due to taking nails off. Oh, thank you so much, Heaven Bound. That is very sweet of you. Lou Life, is that the brand? I'm not familiar with it. I don't really think about my glue brands often. I have a bunch of them. This is one that I got in like a 12 pack on Amazon. I like to use. This one I got in one of those mystery boxes from Nail Couture. I really like it, but I don't know that you can get it anymore because it's not even labeled. And then I have some that are like semi-solids. This one's from a cart, but I have some Savvylands. Look, this one's got like holes in it. I don't care about it. I'll use whatever nail glue. And oftentimes I use gel. Because again, it's only the paint that's a problem. It's not the structural stuff. And I don't understand that. And then like what I have on now is polygel. Got some leftover red paint. I could go in with my little cleanup brush and get that off of there. And I probably will when I finish swatching, but for now it's not that big a deal. I order a lot of things from Temu. definitely decorations. That's why I have a million of them. But it just depends. If you don't want to use gel, I only recommend that you get a brush-on nail glue. That's the easiest way, I think, for application. Those little bottles that you have to squeeze are kind of hard to work with. But there's nothing wrong with air dry. I do use it sometimes. I used to use it all the times. But you have to be fast and efficient, because once you stick it on there, it's on there. And I'm notorious for getting my nails on crooked. So I think that doing it with gel gives you a little bit of a better chance to get it on straight, because you have a chance to straighten it before you cure it. That doesn't guarantee you're going to get it on straight, because that's also a skill thing, which is why my nails are crooked. It's hard to see what you're doing when you're holding them on there. But yeah, ain't nothing wrong with Temu. I mean, as far as nail products, their business model, there's lots wrong with it, but I order all kinds of stuff on there. And AliExpress. I used to get a bunch of stuff from Shein, but I haven't in a while. Not because I have a problem with Shein in particular, but I've been getting everything that I want on Temu and AliExpress. There we go. Oh, you're not talking too much. I love when people talk to me in the chat. Otherwise, I'm not saying much at all. I am not a nail tech. I am a nail addict. I didn't used to paint my nails at all, because paint doesn't stick to natural nails very long. So I'm like, what's the point if it's just going to peel off? But then I fell down the nail polish rabbit hole of YouTube, and here we are, like 3 years later. I love my nails. And I've learned to do really cool stuff. So that definitely aids in my desire to do my nails. And that's also why I don't do nails professionally. I do it for me and for content. Every once in a while, my family or my friends will let me do some nails for them, but for the most part, none of the people that I know in real life care about nails that much. It's just me. I am the problem. Chrome? I do. So most people apply chrome to a gel top coat or a chrome specific gel top coat, but you can do it on regular nail polish. It just takes a little bit of experimenting. Some top coats it sticks to better than others. Some give a smoother finish and some are more grainy, and the amount of time you need to wait for it to dry can vary. So like, you want it to be mostly dry, not dry enough that it won't stick anymore. Once it's completely dry, it's too dry. But it has to be more dry than when still tacky. So you've got to catch it to where it's still soft, but it doesn't feel wet, and it will stick on there. I also find that chromes stick really well to Maniology paint. Like the black paint, you put it on there when it's mostly dry, you rub that chrome in, and it looks fantastic. I don't do a lot of chrome though, because I have so many nail polishes that are chrome already. It's not mirror-like. Like, it's never going to be to where you look in and it looks like a piece of glass. That's just not how it is. But there are some already chrome nail polishes that you just paint on, and they're chromes, and so they dry that way. So more often than not, that is enough to suffice for what I'm doing. But if I'm trying to do like an isolated chrome situation, that is gonna require to actually use chrome. Or if you're wanting to do like the pearly type finish or like glazed donut nails were popular, you're gonna need a powder for that. I have a giant case of them, actually, all different colors, and I've done some experimenting. In fact, here's this swatch wheel where I tested out a bunch of different top coats and all the same chrome powder so that I could get consistent results. And so here's the finger paints top coat. This one is China Glaze. This one is Sally Henson something, MG, I don't remember. Mega something, maybe, I don't know. And then Sally Henson dries instantly. And so these are the finishes that I got putting the chrome powder on top of them. Another thing you'll need to be aware of when you top coat chrome powder, it can also affect it. And so you'll want to use one of these that you know isn't going to make it grainy. Like over here, you can see that it's a little bit of a different texture. And then like these, they really didn't go well. But there's a learning curve. You just kind of have to try out your timing until you find one that works. But these in particular, I do know works. Finger paints. China Glaze is the fast forward. And then these Sally Hensons. So this is the dries instantly one. This MG one, I can't remember what it stands for, but I think the bottle might be red. And I like these because they're like $4 a bottle. All right. What was that? This? Squishy nails. I don't remember what we just... I think it was this. Let me touch it. No, it wasn't. It was the peel off. Okay. Still sticky, I can tell. Squishy nails. Your nails are soft. Yeah, some people have thin, soft, flexible nails. Some people have thicker, harder nails. My nails grow pretty hard, but they peel. Like, so this direction, they'll shred, which is why I started taking vitamins. That was before I was wearing extensions, though. Now it doesn't matter because they're under my extensions. But yeah, even if you don't wear extensions, I definitely recommend keeping some sort of product on your nails for structural integrity. Might be Miracle Gel. It might be. It might be. That sounds like something that would make sense. But we all know it's not gel because gel requires a light. If it dries without a light, it's not gel. It's gel-like. And with that, the finger paints, they make a regular top coat and a gel-like top coat. And they're both regular, but the one that says gel-like on it doesn't dry as fast. So that's just something to keep in mind. I prefer the other one because it dries faster. You do? Thank you. I appreciate it. I keep painting my thumbnail extra thick for some reason. I'm going to tap it down over here in this dryer. Probably because it leans. Nail polish is my specialty. I can do all kinds of things with it. And I find ways to adapt it to do similar things to gel because not everybody does gel. I do a lot of nail videos, yeah. If I am not mistaken, there might be, let me just check. I feel like on my channel, there might be nearly 2,000 videos. Let's see here. If it will tell me. No, I was looking on my phone, but let me look on my laptop. I can't because I've got the live stream. I know on here it does say it somewhere. Nope, that's not what we want. We want, how many videos are there? Well, heck, I don't know. But I know there's a gazillion. I can show you in my playlist. So I have 12 in that one, 43 in that one, 154, 10, 20, 13, 88, 46, 12, 14, 104. I have lots and lots and lots. And then there's even other playlists from back when I was a gamer. But lots of nail content. And then, of course, I have all of the associated social medias like TikTok, Instagram. My Facebook has a collaboration of all my nail content plus my other content. What in the world is going on over here? Is this thing? Oh, it's way off. That's why, because I ain't even looking at it. So this channel is my nail channel, but I also have my other. It's called Megan Makes It. It's MEGAN MAXIT, and that's where I put things that are not nail related. Sometimes it's clothes, sometimes it's hair or makeup or food, or so I've got side hustle content on there. So there's a bunch of other stuff, but there you go, 2.2, lots and lots and lots of nail videos because I love it. This is my favorite thing to do with my time. Yes, thank you for checking. If you go back through the evolution of my nail videos, you can see how things have changed over the years, how it started and how I've grown, all my trial and error and experimenting. And not only did I have to learn how to do nails and use products, but I also had to learn the technology. And that's been its own growth journey. And I'm still not a professional, but it's come a long way. Recently, I've amped up doing the live streams. I used to not do them very often, but it's because I didn't really understand how. I've gotten better at it. And normally I like to do horizontal live streams from my laptop because I can do more special effects and add overlays and stuff. But YouTube does not push out horizontal live streams anymore. They only do the vertical ones. And so that's why now all of my live streams have been in this vertical format because it's more YouTube friendly. Which is fine. Just 1 second. Get off of there. About to put this in the dryer. I had the live stream going in my laptop. I'm just going to refresh the page because sometimes the chat breaks on the phone and it gets off. And so I like to pull it up on the laptop as well, just so I can check every once in a while and make sure I'm not missing anything. You love them. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. The next color we're going to do is this sparkly pink one. It is called Cute and Savage. It's like a magenta. It's so pretty. Currently, it's a sort of answer. So we did have cats, and they were indoor cats. They didn't go outside, but they have all expired. So we are animal free in the house. However, there is a cat that lives in my backyard he moved himself in. He just decided he lives here. And so my mom built him a cat house and feeds him and stuff. But no more indoor pets. I love animals, but I spent a bunch of my adult life not living with them, and so I got used to it. And now I prefer the hairless lifestyle. I like dogs. I haven't had one in a very long time, though. I like to go pet other people's dogs. All right, that is dry. Let's start with this paint. I used to have pet rats. Have you ever pet a rat? They're like hamsters but bigger, and they are social animals. So typically you want to have them in pairs so that they have a companion, but they're super sweet and cuddly, and they're smart. You can teach them to do tricks, and you can put them in the ball, a little plastic ball, so they can just roll around the house and stuff. They're adorable, but they only live about 2 years, which is sad. This color definitely requires 2 coats because it's a bit more sheer of a base, which is good because it allows you to see through it, to see all the layers of sparkle, but it does mean you've got to make more coats for opacity. You love this color? You found one in your garden? I don't think that one would let you pet it. You would need to get a domestic one to pet it. But if you get the chance, definitely do. If you go to a pet store and they have some, they can let you pet them. Ugh. If you paint outside the lines, just clean it up. All right, let's try. Yes, I am American. I am from Oklahoma. Where are you from? Europe. That's awesome. I hope to visit Europe someday. I've never been outside of America. I am of European descent, though. I had my DNA done, because that's fun. Mostly English, but there's a little smattering of Irish and one of them Scandinavian countries, I think. I can't remember, it's been so long. Hungarian. I don't know anybody from Hungary in real life. How is it over there? What's it like? All right, let's put on coat number 2. Goodness gracious, that second coat. Let me show it to you. That looks so nice. It's a pink disco ball. So pretty. Very cold in the winter and snowy. Summer gets up to 40. I assume you mean Celsius. We do Fahrenheit here, so I don't know the exact conversion, but I think that's hot because it's like 2.2 or something multiplier. Here in Oklahoma, it gets cold and it gets hot, but we don't get much snow. Maybe once or twice a year, and it's not super deep. I don't love getting snowed on. Though it's pretty to look at, it makes going places difficult. Can't nobody here drive in the snow because they're not used to it. Well, hello, Super Chad. Let's, this is a nail channel. We don't have content here on political issues. $104 Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's hot. Yes, indeed. We do sometimes get temperatures that high, but not super frequently here in Oklahoma. Now, there was one summer that it got up to nearly 115. It felt like death outside. It was awful. It was a long time ago, though. That's a little bit of that peel off. I had too much of it. There we go. That looks good, though. That's so pretty. Let's dry it. When you're drying your hand in here, you got to remember to flip your thumb upright. That way, both sides of it gets air. You're used to it, or it's snowing. So it's either snow or fire outside. Hot, hot, or a little bit of cold. Welcome. How to spell Mark. Thank you. You're right. Creators do need creators. You're live too? Thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by. I have a hustling heart, let me tell y'all. I got so many jobs outside of content creation. I have a whole regular day job, and then I've got a bunch of side hustles. But this is my favorite way to spend time. I spend a lot of time feeding the algorithm on Facebook too, though. That's a grind. If you guys look on my channel or in my videos, there are links in my descriptions for all of my social media and my link tree, so you can find me everywhere should you want to. Possibly. I'm still learning about moderators. But yeah, if you are able to like regularly come to my live streams, you could probably help me out. I don't usually do them this early in the morning because I am normally at work. I usually do them later, and so with the time zone, I don't know what time it would be for you, but we can find out. Let's top coat. 15:54, so about to be 4 p.m. for you. It's about to be 10 a.m. for me. So like 6 hours difference. So yeah, it would be super late for you. Typically, if I do a live stream in the evening, it's closer to 6 or 7 p.m. for me. It'll be real late for you. On weekends, though, I do try and do them around this time, so that would probably be functional. I think I'm gonna have to put some more top coat in this bottle soon. It's getting lower. There we go. That is so pretty. Let's try it. Tattoo under my thumb. Hello, Harry Hughes. Welcome. I have lots of tattoos. So this one is a skeleton key. I got it for Friday the 13th. This one is a cow plant. It's from the video game The Sims. Over here on my finger, I've got these stars and stuff. On this arm, I've got this devil girl. In here, I've got this little infinity. And then they're all over my body. Ah, yes. What do you do for work? Harry, I don't have anything in particular planned, but should the mood strike me, yes, I'll get more. I kind of just get them whenever the urge comes. If something speaks to my soul, then I'll go get one, but it doesn't always happen. I do have one that I would like maybe to get like right here. I don't know if it'll ever happen though, because it's not super high on my priority list, but it's the Deathly Hallows from Harry Potter and the Phoenix. It's real pretty. You do hair? I love hair. I'm the only one in my house who can do any sort of hair, so not only do I typically have the coolest hair because I do it myself, I also have the less options because some things I cannot do myself. But I can do some stuff, not all that cutting though. Styling, I can get down with some tools. All right, let's see here. Dry. Those are so sparkly. That's pretty. As you know, it's time to photograph. I might. I just don't know when. It's one of those things that if it happens, it happens. It doesn't, it doesn't. I've got all kinds of stuff that I'm working on. Keeps me distracted and broke. There we go. Ah. And one more. There we go. Perfect. I hope those are not blurry. I have not actually checked the quality of any of them. So we'll just hope for the best. Let's see. My favorite dish, like food? Mickey Mouse and Deathly Hallows. That sounds pretty cool. Pretty cool. So as far as favorite foods, I don't know that I have a singular favorite food, but my favorite meat is chicken. And my favorite type of food is actually salad. I eat a lot of salad, and typically when I go out, I often end up just getting a salad because salad is a very diverse food. It's not just one thing. There's different kinds, and so that gives me still a variety, but at a reasonably healthy manner. I mean, salad can get real unhealthy real quick depending on what you put in it. But it's certainly better than like pasta for you. Though I do eat pasta, just not very often. You are right, Heavenbound. It would be a perfect color for Valentine's. I'm going to be doing Valentine's nail here shortly because we're getting right up on that season. I have finished my Christmas nails for the year, so I'm not doing any more of those, but I am doing some generalized winter nails during this season because it's still that time. And then January is my birthday month, so I'm going to be doing some birthday nails pretty soon. And I post like reels of photos for all the nails that I do on my socials, and even here on YouTube, they'll be like in the community tab or whatever. But not every nail set gets like a long form video or a live stream. So a lot of the nails you'll only see in short format. Oh, thank you. I appreciate y'all. Hi, Karen. Welcome. We're just peeling off this pink layer of polish so that we can do the last one. This last one is blue and it's a magnetic. So we're going to also be doing some magnetizing. On my birthday this year coming up one, I will be 39 years old. You guys, creeping up on 40. I don't care about becoming 40. I don't have any problem with it. But it's real crazy because I don't feel that old. I don't know how these years be slipping by so quickly. You're 30? That's good. I remember being 30. You still have some of your youth, but a lot more knowledge. The 20s are real hard for being dumb. Thank you, Karen. Let's see. Is it Kamali Burdendar? Welcome, Kamali. Welcome, Corey. Thank you. All right, we're ready to do the next one. Welcome, Jessica. You're 10. That's a very good age. All right, our last round of peel off. So if you didn't see it earlier, now's your chance. We're doing one coat of Orly Peel Off Base Coat. Beth, welcome. Hello. Isn't what uncomfortable? What did I miss? Peeling it off? No, because I use this. You love magnetic polishes? I also love magnetic polishes. They're my favorite. I have those, the Harry Potter magnetics, except for one. I accidentally forgot to put one of them in my cart, and so I didn't get it. But should the chance ever arise conveniently, I will get it, just to complete it. I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd. I even have that like stainy one, but I've never used it because I don't use natural nails. Not exactly. We are doing swatches for Tyler's Trinkets latest nail collection. I won it in a giveaway and it arrived yesterday. And so I'm doing full hand swatches. We're on the last polish that I need to do. But the main focus of this particular live stream is my peel off base coat process. Your birthday's tomorrow? Well, happy early birthday to you. That's way more exciting. Oop, got a little crumble on this one. But yeah, so I'm showing my peel off base coat process because it is a super handy technique if you want to be able to change your nail paint without damaging your structure, which I do a lot because I do content and also I'm a nail addict. And so I just like painting my nails a lot. And this makes it a lot easier. I did not get that off of there. Let me get these tweezers. There we go. Goodness gracious. You're welcome. All right. Let's dry that. I'll show y'all. This is the last one. I like this blue because it's almost got like this matte-ish look, but it's not because it's a magnetic. And it's very frosty, and it's got this silver pull. This one is called Mirror Mirror on My Phone, and we're going to do a couple of different magnetic styles. 2XL pink and white chrome Frenchies. That sounds very pretty. Caitlin, welcome. Yeah, getting your nails done is super expensive, especially when you're getting really cool nails, which is one of the reasons I like to do my own nails. I've got this over here. These are magnetic from ILMP. They're like a silky magnet. And then the nail stamping is from a stamping plate by Pretty Fingers by Robin. So these are some winter nails I did the other day. They're cute. Thank you. I love this color too. This is one of the polishes I actually got for Christmas. We've already had Christmas at my house. And so I got this collection. And I haven't used the other ones yet because I can't bring myself to peel this one off yet. It's so pretty. All right, now it's time for the first top coat, the cheap one. It's a quick dry top coat, but this protects my expensive top coat from the peel off base coat. There's some, maybe it's hanging on that lid. Yeah, there's some trash stuck to that lid. Gross. Little top coat hairs. This is just the process that I do to make my peel off base coat so that I can peel off my paint like you saw a moment ago and get right on into doing more nails. Just makes my life easier. Too much top coat. Wipe some of that off. And then I dropped some. Girl, you would not believe it if I told you. I do have a huge collection. I have almost 1,200 nail polishes. Regular nail polishes. That does not include gel or acrylic, because regular polish is my primary medium. I don't use the other stuff very much, but I love it. And so I have very much. There's a spreadsheet in my video descriptions that actually goes to my catalog where I keep the data of all the nail polishes that I have. For me, it is December 23rd, so Christmas is 2 days from now. Today is actually my mom's birthday, but she's at work. Yikes is right. I have a lot of nail polish. Like my walls, they're all lined with nail polish shelves because I like to look at them. They're so pretty, so being able to see them makes me happy. It's like having art, but they're bottles of nail polish. All right, let's get this top coat put on here. This is the good one. This is my favorite top coat. I'm gonna have to refill this bottle soon because I use it a lot. All right, Beth. We'll see you later. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yes, Victoria, you are the life of the chat, though. What do you guys do for Christmas? What are your holiday traditions? We had ours on Saturday because that was the only day that all of us were going to be available across my family members. We all work different shifts. But we don't do anything big. We just met up and opened our gifts. We didn't even make any food this year. I have a small family, though, so it's not a big ordeal, and it's not that difficult for us to get together because there's only a few of us. That sounds fun, Victoria. I like that, spreading it out over 2 days. Welcome, Tammy. What am I using? So first we do 1 coat of this peel off, which, come on camera. There you go. 1 coat of this, and then 1 coat of this top coat, and then 1 coat of this top coat. And then all of those combined creates a peelable layer that I can do my art on top of. And it allows me to be able to just peel my nail paints off in sheets. So these are from some junk nails I did recently. They're super, super pretty. This is all on here with nail polish. I even have a rhinestone adhesion product that is air dry, and it works really well. So we are, I don't know how long that was in there. Let's check it. We're just doing our peel off because we're doing swatches, and we're about to swatch this polish. Please, camera, get your life right. Hello. There we go. Good Lord. So this is from Tyler's Trinkets, and it's a magnetic called Mirror Mirror on my phone. We're going to do a couple of different magnetizations. Thanksgiving is in November. We had that. It's also another holiday that we don't do a whole lot for. It's super small. So one of the magnetic techniques we're going to do is with these beads. I like this because it gives you an abstract magnetic pattern. We are also going to do 1 velvet. We're also going to do 1 bead method with this tool. And so the magnet goes on top of this, and this is how you make the glass bead. We'll do a regular cat eye. And then I have this thing that I've not tried out yet, and it's got this heart on the end of it. So we're going to try it. How many days will the peel off last before it starts coming off? So that's going to depend. If you're doing it on your natural nails, it's probably going to come off pretty quickly because natural nails, they don't stick as well. But if you're doing it like this on top of your extensions, for the most part, it's going to stay as long as you want it to. However, depending on what you're doing with your hands, sometimes one of them can fly off. So like there are occasions where I just look at my hand and there's a whole nail just missing its paint and I don't know where it went, because it's like, what are you doing? If you get rough with them, they'll come off. But if you live a very chill lifestyle, you're not rough with your hands, it'll just be on there. All right, let's have another little sip before we. Now with these, I'm only going to do 1 coat because with magnetics, it's best to do it as thick as you can because that allows it to flow more freely. And for the pinky, we're going to do the regular cat eye just because that's the easiest one to do it that way. Yes, it depends on the base. So let's get started. A generous coat. We're going to float it on here. And then I'm going to hold this over it, and I'm going to count to 30, and then we'll put it in the dryer. In my head, of course. So the reason that you have to wait while you hold it is so that it can start drying. It helps to set the pigment. And then you want to stick it in the dryer to go ahead and hurry up the drying process, because the longer it sits, the more the particles will disperse, since unlike gel, it does not instantly freeze in place. You have visited my state on October 3rd. Well, that's cool. Came to Oklahoma. What were you doing here? But yeah, you want to lock in your magnetic. That way it stays. It can still disperse a little bit, but it helps. So like over here, I did the glass bead on these two, and you can see that they've, for the most part, stayed the way that they're supposed to because I dry them. Yeah, the structure, it's polygel. I have a different polygel on this hand than the other one. I was doing sandwich dual forms when I made these, so... But yeah, it's just polygel, though I usually use full cover tips. My favorite brand for tips, though, is E-Nail Couture. They have the most variety of shapes and lengths and all that, and I have a bunch. They're great. I do have a discount code for them if you shop there. It's SecretDevilYT's, SecretDevilYT's, and that saves 25%. They do have higher discounts sometimes, so if they're using a higher one, use that. But if they don't, you can save 25%. You went to see friends? That's the best reason for travel. I like to make friends in other locations. That way I have someone to visit when I go places. All right. So there's that one. We're going to let that chill for a little bit. And then I'm going to show you how I top coat all these in protectively, because there's an extra step when it comes to magnetics. Now for this one, we're going to do the velvet. And this one I can dry in the dryer. So I'm just going to put it on there, and then we're going to shove it all in with the magnet. Let's get that on there nice and generously. And then I put this here, and I'm going to put this whole thing in here. The code is SECRET, SECRET, and then 25, the numbers, SECRET 25. I do know Moira. It's a stamping plate and polish brand, right? You're welcome. I have lots of codes for lots of brands. If you look at my link tree, which you'll find the link for that somewhere on my profile or in videos, there's all of my brands and discount codes in there. So if you use any of those brands, definitely go grab those codes. Yeah. Is it just regular nail polish, or is it stamping polish? I thought for sure it was stamping polish. Alright, so here's the velvet nail so far. Now we will do one with the glass bead. So this is a technique. I'm going to have to put it in this device before we dry it. But we're going to do that. Now I use this little handle to spin this, even though it kind of hurts my fingers because it's not meant to be used that way. But that's how I do it. I think they're stamping. I do a lot of nail stamping. That's my favorite way to do nail art. I'm gonna actually just scoot this over here so that it's not in my way. I'm trying to make everything viewable, but yeah, no. Gotta be able to get my arm in here too. All right. Most of my stamping polish is from Maniology, but I do have some from other brands. They're just sometimes really expensive. All right, so we put this in here and try and center it under the little peg thing. And then I'm going to spin this while I count to 40. And then I'll bring my finger out and you can see that bead. So I'm gonna put that in the dryer so we can lock that in. So I got this magnet from Amazon, and then I got this device. It's called the Dome. It's from Funny Business Lacquer. I wish there were windows so you could see in here, and I've given them my feedback on the design. Because when you get your finger in here, you can't really see if it's in there straight, so sometimes I make my bead not in the center. But you get better with practice, but this really helps to be able to do the glass bead design. Hello, welcome, the Walkers and Doug. We're just doing some nail polish swatching. And right now we're swatching a magnetic, so we're doing some magnetic design tutorial-ish stuff. All right, so let's have a look. So that's that so far. It's pretty cool. We're going to do next, and we're going to try this heart tool that I have not used before. So this is going to be an experiment. What I am going to do, though, before I put the heart, is I'm going to stick it in here so that it velvetizes it, and then we'll put the heart. Hopefully it works well, because I have some of those other heart magnets, and they don't work that well. Ooh. It's generous paint. It's trying to roll everywhere. All right, so I stuck that in there, and that pushes it all together. And then let's just put this here, and I'm going to hold it here while I count to 30. All right, it's crooked hay. That's not how I would like it. I would prefer that to be in the center. I'm going to try it again. That's a concern I was having that was possible from holding it sideways like that, because I couldn't see what I was doing. But let's try it like this now. All right. It's not really a heart. It's more of an apple. I don't like that. Is it because I didn't have the bottom part of it close enough? Like, I don't know. I couldn't see down it. Yeah, I can't say I love that. That's not great. It's not my favorite. I don't know if I should just do something different there or not, because it does look kind of stupid. There's this other end I haven't tried before, but I don't know if it's too dry for that. It might be. Let's put some more. Sorry, this one's taking so long because we're experimenting. All right, let's stick that in there for just that, and then see what happens with this end. All right. So that makes some up and down stripes. Oddly enough, they are placed kind of weird. I think maybe that one in the center is supposed to be the center of this, but maybe I was holding it crooked, but we're going to leave that. Let's go ahead and stick that in the dryer. That tool might need some practice. Probably Temu. That's the most likely option. It's Temu or AliExpress. Yeah, I made the heart thing out of the paper clip, and then I have this one that's like a little Y, and I'm not very good at either one of those either. But last, for the thumb, we're going to do this. Alright, so that's what we got for that. You can see this when we first started, it has dispersed some, but not terribly. Alright, let's get some paint on this thumb. Put a little bit more. All right, so here, I'm just gonna take this and kind of get it close to it just to push those around a little bit. But I'm not going to hold it because I gotta do different sections. Oops, I touched it with the magnet. That's a problem. I try not to do that, but sometimes it happens. So once you get it pushed around, you can make some designs. You kind of have to work sort of quickly, but not crazy because it gives you a little bit of time because it's still wet. But it just kind of makes it this abstracty, if I can get it to show you, please, thing. There we go. So this is one of those ways you can make those like swimming pool nails. Just kind of push it around so that it's wobbly looking. And you can get some really cool designs, especially if the one you're using has a bunch of different colors, because how you push it around will affect how the colors distribute. But let me stick that in there. So if I put the magnet under my finger when I'm painting, it's still kind of far away. And so I don't get a very good magnetic pull. And really only the straight one would work for that. That heart's going to be too far away. Hi, Summer. Welcome back. You were in here earlier, weren't you? You love the blue? I like it too. Yeah. This is what I got over here. Thank you. I really like it. Oh, what a cute little planet emoji. All right, so we've pulled that out. Now, this next step is crucial. This is Maniology Aqua Topper, and it's a water-based top coat. This is going to protect our magnetic pattern. If we go on here with regular top coat, it's going to melt the top layer of polish, and that is going to cause it to distribute. But if you put an aqua topper, a water-based top coat, on your nail art, it creates a barrier and it prevents it from being ruined. You can use this on top of stamping, you can use it on top of magnetics, you can use it on top of water decals, transfer foils, any kind of nail art, hand-drawn nail art. Put this on before your final top coat and it protects your art. You don't need it if you do, because gel does not melt nail polish. You're going on vacation tomorrow. Where are you going to go? I need to open a new bottle of this because it's getting very low. Colombia. Interesting. What will you do there? Are you going to a resort or a beach or something? You're doing makeup? Visiting family? I do makeup on live streams sometimes. I did yesterday on my Megan Makes It channel because it's not nail. I also do kind of a simple makeup. I don't do a whole lot of makeup. I'm not a super fancy makeup gal. Hi, Shreya. Welcome. We're just doing a little magnetic nail polish. All right, I'm going to put this in the dryer. Water-based top coat takes a little bit of time to dry. It doesn't dry as fast as quick dry top coat. And it's not a final top coat. Like, you can't just use this and stop because it doesn't have the structural long wear properties. It's just a protective layer. Thank you, Shreya. I'll show them to you here in a moment. We did 5 different styles of magnetic because I like to get a variety of examples for my swatch photos. Christmas and birthday vacation. That sounds great. I hope you guys go do a lot of cool stuff. Definitely tell everywhere you go that it's your birthday, so hopefully they'll give you some stuff. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, definitely hit the subscribe button. I have lots and lots and lots of nail content. And I do lives pretty frequently, and I post videos pretty frequently, and I post reels multiple times a day. There's just all kinds of stuff. Reels, shorts. They call them shorts over here. Bahamas. That sounds nice. What are you gonna be doing? All right, so have had their water-based top coat to protect them. This is what we've got going. We've got a cat eye, we've got a velvet, we've got a glass bead, we've got this straight thing, and then we have the beads. And so we're going to put the regular top coat to seal all this in. Oh, you're going to go on a cruise ship? I've never been on a cruise ship, but I hear that they're a lot of fun. Bear with me. I'm concentrating. I can't paint and talk at the same time for some reason. I'm trying to lightly float it on here so I don't cause drags. That happens. All right, let's put that in the dryer. Your hair burst. Oh no. Okay. These will be dry momentarily, and then we'll get to take the photos. Hello, Meadow. Welcome. We're just drying some nails. I want to make sure they're good and dry for these pictures. All right. Yeah. Let's turn this off. Show you. So this is what we got. It's very pretty. Camera does not like looking at it, apparently. And then this is the one over here. All right, let's get these pictures. And There we go. Perfect. Look at that. That's so nice. I really like that color. So the glass bead is my favorite way to magnetize, but I do the velvet one a lot because it creates such a nice smooth background, but it still has that shift. And then I like to do this one a lot just because it's so interesting and it's always different. But yeah. So those are the nails. Now I do have this polish. It wasn't part of the collection though. It was just part of the polish pickup for this month. So I can make a swatch of it, but it's not really related. But also these are so pretty. And I kind of want to leave them so I can look at them. I don't know. What do y'all think? Should we leave these or should we peel them off and do that purple flaky? These are so fancy. Purple. Yeah, it would. You are absolutely right. This would be an excellent winter background. That's kind of why I picked it last, because it's the most appropriate for the season. It's pretty. But we do have this. Totally different vibe. All right, well, let's peel it off then. I can always put it back on if I want to. Yep, easy peely. Purple for Hungarian jam. Yes, exactly. These are thicker because I've got more layers of product. I can feel the difference. That's okay though. Sometimes I do like really complex nail art with lots and lots of layers, especially if I'm doing nail stamping. So they can get pretty thick in sheets, but one of my favorite things about nail polish is the way that it dries. So as it dries, it thins, unlike gel. So gel can get real thick and it stays that way, but nail polish doesn't. It'll thin out as it dries. So even if you use 10 layers, it's going to thin. I don't know if that's a piece in here or just a messed up spot. But whatever. This one definitely has a bunch because we did like 3 different magnets on it. go. That's smooth. Everyone said you're sassy. That's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with being sassy. I am sometimes sassy also. Just tell them don't be haters all their life. That's what I like to do. All right. Just check for smoothness. That's how you know you got it all off. You love my accent? My plain vanilla Midwestern American accent with a splash of Southern. Well, thank you. Accents are funny because you don't think about your own. Everybody thinks they don't have an accent because you can't hear your own accent because you're used to it. But you have to know that when other people with a different accent hear it, it definitely sounds like an accent. We're getting a bonus round of peel off base coat since we're doing this extra polish. Are you an expert at peel off base coat now? Because this is a lot of times of seeing it. I imagine you do have a very different accent than me. I'm not sure what it sounds like, but if I had to guess, I would imagine it would be kind of like the German Russian-y vibe, like sharp sounds. CTR Christopher, hello, welcome. Don't like my voice? Well, you don't have to hear it, actually. That's one of the things about personal choice and freedom is you're able to make that decision for yourself. You can either mute the sound if you want to watch the video, or you don't have to watch it at all. You're allowed to leave and nobody will blame you. Don't you love freedom? Thank you, Chetta. Oh, did I turn that off? That's right. Stupid. Let's see. You said don't say the Z, so see ya. If I don't say the Z, I would say see ya. Does that sound right? Hey girl, hey. Yeah, he was rude. I don't know what people's deal is. Like, what made you feel like that was the move? So crazy. Awesome, Victoria. I'm learning already. So is your language called Hungarian or is it called something else? Too early to be an ass? You know, I like to think so too, but I guess some people roll out the bed with the intention of being rude. But those people probably live miserable lives because what else would make you so spiteful? Magar? Interesting. I don't believe I have heard of that before, but that's probably because over here we don't know much about what goes on in the outside world. GA4. I don't know what that means. It is unnecessary any time of the day. Why be rude when no one's being rude to you? Surely that's not how he gets a happier life. Yeah, teach us more words. I love learning new things. I also live a happy life and do not walk around looking for opportunities to be rude to people, especially people I don't know, because that's silly. What's the point of that? Yes, good morning is the regular standard greeting, or if it's later in the day, you can even get wild and go with a good afternoon or something. That's totally fine. That dude was silly. I think the reason this one's always so thick is because when I lean my hand over to put it in the dryer, it all pools on this side. Got to do a better job of watching that so that I can clean it up. Ugh. Just trying to pull off this extra without completely removing it. Peel off base coat does not like to be adjusted after it's drying. That's thinner. That's better. All right, let's try that. What word? Ooh, we need to pick something that's useful. Well, I guess since we learned hello, we might as well learn goodbye, right? What is a standard goodbye? All right, let's get to our next layer of top coat. Oh, do we also not say the Z's on this one? Sev as together, so it's just Sevaz. Cool. So Sia and Sevaz. I like it. Good stuff. Sia Sevaz. I'm going to need that information when I become a big and famous jet setter. I'm getting a little phlegmy. I think maybe somebody has brought contamination into my house and try to make me ill. Sure. How to say nails. That seems like a useful word. Karum? Or do you put a break in it? Karum? Karum. Hi, Annette. How are you? Welcome in. Look at me. I'm good at guessing this. Does my accent sound ridiculous when I say them, though? Karum. Goodness. For those of you who didn't see, this is the polish. If it'll unblur. Come on now. Ugh. Doing this one-handed's hard. It's gonna make me touch it. There we go. Jeez. This is the one we're about to paint on. It's the purple flaky. It is called Heels, Nails, Blade, Mascara. So that's what we're gonna slather on. I know you're not trying to be rude. But yeah, I imagine my accent is heinous. Alright, let's check this out. These are dry enough to paint on. What about nail art? How do you say nail art? These flakes are chunky. Let's look at that. It's pretty. Yeah, I think I got a smoothish application on that one. Karum Fesht Ik. Karum Feshtik. Does that sound awful? The word art is long if it's the feshtik. I'm glad you're getting your giggles out of it. That's good. I don't know that this one's gonna need 2 coats because it looks like it's getting pretty decent coverage. That's what I was trying to look at. So that's cool. The less coats, the less time it takes. Let's see here. That looks like a pretty decent application also. I think I just hit my nail on the table. Didn't seem to mess anything up though. All right, let's dry it. You're moving on to doing your nails? Awesome, look at you. You're going to be all ready by the time we finish. Yes, what color? What color and what finish? Is it a cream? Is it a glitter? Is it a shimmer? Tell us. Purple sparkle glitter. That sounds beautiful. Is it a light purple or a dark purple or maybe a pinky purple? Well, hello, welcome LS Cummings. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you. Light purple, that's nice. I like light purples, little lavenders, stuff. All right, let's top coat. Yeah, you can see all the glitter from my poly gel. If it'll straighten up. Bruh. There it is. Yeah. This one's different. I really like these because the polygel is entirely clear, but there's these clear iridescent hearts. And so they're invisible except when the light hits them, which makes my nail completely visible, which is kind of weird, but it's a beautiful polygel. Hi, welcome, Sophia. So I am in Oklahoma, and Victoria is in Hungary, and she's been teaching us some useful words. This is real pretty. I like it. I like flaky nail polishes. I don't use them that often though, because typically I'm doing nail art and it gets covered up. But when you do have them out, it looks really nice. I have some thermal flakes that go from green to white, and I really like to use those for garden nails because they look like plants, grass, leaves, that sort of stuff. And that makes a good background. Thank you. Happy holidays to you as well. Yes, nail polish. Nail polish, is it going to start with carum and then something else? I'm definitely gonna have to refill this. Oh, this one's easier. Is it carum lock or loke? Which one? Lock or loke? The first way or the second way? Right, let's dry those nails. The first one, so carum lock. Excellent. Good. I'm going to be able to talk all about my nail polish and my nail art. Sure. How would we say purple? Hello, Crystal Moonstar. You have a Ness? How would you like to get in doing this? She is only 10. How would she start, please? Oh, a niece. She wants to paint her nails. Start easy. You need 3 items for basic nail painting: base coat, color, top coat. And you need a cleanup brush for acetone, because when you start painting your nails, you do a terrible job. And so you'll want to use your brush with your acetone to go around the edges and clean them off. I do have a video on my channel in the Back to Basics playlist called How to Paint Your Nails, and it has the step-by-step, up-close, slow instructions on how to just paint. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. It will be helpful. So here's what we have. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, so lilac, ash, but don't say the C. How can you not say the C but still say the K? Lilac, ash. Field O vision. Is there something wrong with you? Are you damaged? Don't say the K. So you just say the L-A, la. So like lila, or is it lila? I assume by yes you mean there is something wrong with you, because you said such a strange thing. For what? I don't know. Chetta will get you, though. She does not like rudeness. Oop. Dang it, I just dug my pinky into my thumb. Now I gotta smush it back where it belongs. All right, let's take a photo. Or photos. Anyway. So pretty. Yes, rudeness is unbecoming. But immature people think it's funny. They're probably a child. You know, they let children on here. So, gotta get your giggles where you can. Right, kids? There we go. Beautiful photographs. All right, that's the last one. So I will leave this one on here. When you finish your nail art, Go in with your cuticle oil. You can use the pins or the droppers or whatever container yours is in, and just put it around for your crusties. It helps keep your skin moisturized and repair any dryness that may have been caused from cleanup when you use acetone. And like we were talking about earlier, it reduces the chances of you getting a hangnail. But yeah, so that is an important step to nail health. Vision, think about what you are going to say before you're typing and sending. Exactly. That is perfect advice. You tell that to your niece, definitely. Well, thank you, Heavenbound. I appreciate you. My live streams are kind of inconsistent. I don't often plan them ahead of time, so they just kind of happen when they happen. But definitely, if you're able to catch them, come on over and hang out. But otherwise, absolutely enjoy my videos. I love making them, and there's all kinds of stuff. Well, technically, if you have social media, you can show me, because I have social media. If you hunt me down on Instagram or TikTok, you can show me there. Yeah. All right. Well, that is everything. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. I hope you learned something. I hope you're able to use that peel off method to make your nail art changes easier. And I'll see you in the next something or other. Bye, guys.